let's just address the elephant or elephants in the room, as it were, right away. So let's see. First, I guess there was an advocacy group last year that, I'm sorry, most recently, an advocacy group, I guess last week or the week before, complained that your baby formula contains 11 synthetic ingredients. Why does your baby formula contain 11 synthetic ingredients? Jessica, do you want to answer?
Well, at a high level, I kind of just want to comment on the lawsuits in general, because we really want to be transparent and open about things. I think we take all customer issues and everything very seriously. Our customer service team is one thing we really pride ourselves on. We take more than 5,000 calls a day from customers and trying to address all of their needs and learn from them. The lawsuits that we've been in the media a bunch lately, the unfortunate thing that often happens is sometimes while we support these consumer advocate groups in a lot of ways, Honest often gets involved in the discussion because of Jessica's name, because of the Honest Company's name, it brings a lot of attention to the issue, and it's actually a very smart strategy by a lot of these groups to draw attention to what they're trying to do. It's unfortunate for us because we do get brought into these. The organic formula that you brought up, there is one way to get certified as USDA organic, and we are certified as that. Again, that consumer advocacy group, their issue is with the government's standards and how they determine those. It's not with Honest. Honest complies with all of the organic standards. We stand behind that formula. One of our founders, Christopher Gavigan, who just had his 4th child, developed that for his son he had failure to thrive and to take that. So we stand by that product. It's a fantastic product. The good news is that we have a very informed, savvy consumer who does their homework, who does their research, and reads beyond the headlines that put Jessica's name in there. That's such an important thing to us, and the evidence is this: is Q1 was our strongest quarter ever, and we followed it up in April with our strongest month ever.
That's great. And I hear what you're saying about Jessica's brand being a sort of an easy target. And it should also be noted that CPG companies get sued constantly. But I do think that people are wondering about some of the products. The mineral sunscreen was another issue for you. Last year, customers said, hey, this is not working. I applied it on my children and now they're burned. I know you can't really address the lawsuit specifically, but tell me what's going on with that product. Because I have to say, I'm like smack dab in the middle of your target demographic. I have sons, and based on recent Amazon reviews, I would still be a little bit reluctant to buy it. People are still complaining about it. Maybe they have an agenda, I have no idea. But I think people are just sort of curious.
Yeah, and that's one thing about, we're not perfect. We're always trying to learn and learn from our consumers about what we need to focus on. One thing we learned in sunscreen was education. So most people are used to using chemical-based sunscreens that are absorbed into the skin. The UV rays are absorbed into the skin. We make a mineral-based sunscreen that sits on top of the skin and reflects the UV rays off. But to educate people on the differences and the differences of application and reapplication. So after that issue from last summer, we just launched our new sunscreen this summer, and the entire campaign was about education, the differences between mineral-based and chemical-based. So that's that constant learning, that we don't just discount these as, they're trying to leverage Jessica's name to get more attention for their issue. We learn from them. We talk to consumers. All of the consumers that had issues with our sunscreen, we actually proactively called them. The founders got on the phone. We take it that seriously and always learning, because there's always something to be learned, whether we should have been involved or not. That's important to us.
That's great. So you did reformulate it. I think that's important to note. After the problem surfaced, or it was just education, or?
It's actually just a part of our innovation that we're always doing. We actually listen to consumers, and our sunscreen had been an SPF 30. They were looking for an SPF 50, so we reformulated it to make it an SPF 50. And that's that constant feedback with those 5,000 touch points a day. We have so much data. And that's the amazing thing of that e-commerce business, and why it's, even as we go into retail, it's so critical to us, because we get all that real-time customer feedback, and we can put that into our products.
I do want to move on to new things, but one last related question, because in researching your company in advance of this interview, I saw a lot of this online where people said, the company has sort of repeatedly drawn a line between its products and things like allergies and childhood cancers. And the evidence is a little bit thin that allergies are caused by environmental products. People seem to think it's more a culture of over-sanitization or an increase in airborne pollens tied to climate change. With regard to childhood cancers, which are rare, the National Institutes of Health seems to think it's more likely gene mutations in the womb. I'm just wondering, do you think it's appropriate to associate those things or use them in your marketing materials, or do you do that less now?
We never used it in marketing materials.
But I've seen you, I guess.
It was definitely, one of the reasons why I started the company. I suffer from terrible asthma and allergies as a kid, and I had to eliminate a lot of conventional products from my life just to not have to be on constant medication. And I did have a hard time finding products out there that worked and performed and didn't have a lot of the, mostly for me it was fragrances.
Okay.
And them synthetic fragrances that I was allergic to. And when I was trying to find alternative products that didn't have a lot of these different types of fragrances in them and also other types of ingredients, it wouldn't perform, or it was 5 times more expensive. And so I was like, there's got to be something that works and doesn't have all of these things that are making me sneeze and have watery eyes and break out in a rash. And I didn't know if my kid was going to have the same type of sensitive skin and be allergy or asthma prone. So I wanted to make sure that the products automatically didn't have a lot of those ingredients in them.
Okay.
So that's just where it came from as my own personal story. But we never put that on package as like a marketing material. It just came from my own experience growing up with asthma and allergies and spending a lot of time in the hospital.
Okay. I guess I just see.
And it was
number.
environmentally caused.
Okay.
Yeah.